Welcome back everybody, I'm American Dan, and this is Wings and Wrecks. Today we are on the ground at Perot Alliance Fort Worth, Texas airport, and we are going to take an IFR flight to Charlotte, North Carolina in the Avanti Piaggio P180. Our route today is depart AFW's runway 16 right, the CUS 1 departure to Luce, direct Memphis, direct Taza, and then the Flips 4 arrival into Charlotte's runway 36 right. Fort Worth weather today, 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 28 Celsius, wind 210 degrees at 9 knots, visibility basically unlimited, doesn't give us the QNH. We'll have to get that off the ATIS.
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Cleared to Charlotte via the Cuso 1 departure. Then is filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 37010 minutes after departure. Departure on 118.1 squawk 6452. Expect runway 16 right.
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey is cleared to Charlotte via the Cus 1 departure, then as filed. Climb and maintain 4,000. Expect flight level 37010 minutes after departure on 118.1 squawk 6452. Expect runway 16 right.
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, read back correct.
Other than being a little fast, this plane taxis very, very nicely. Flight engine and instruments are good. Autopilot check set as desired. We did that. Bleed switches are on. Hydraulic pressure is on and good. Pitot-static heat on. Window heat as desired. Anti-ice as desired. Fuel pumps are on. Main, left and right ignition as required. Oil cooling switches off. Auto feather is armed. Prop sync is off. Flaps are set for takeoff. Condition levers full forward. Alliance Tower, Piaggio November 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, holding short 16 right, ready to go.
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, Alliance Tower, runway 16 right, winds 215 at 4, RNAV south, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, 16 right, Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Heading checks. Prop RPMs are good, airspeed's alive. Power set. 80 knots. Keep it on the runway there, Dan. A little bit of back pressure and we we are off the runway. Gears coming up. Gears up. Flaps are up. Yaw dampers on.
Yaw Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, contact departure.
Over to departure for Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Departure Piaggio November Whiskey Alpha Whiskey with you 5,600. We were supposed to stop at 4 and we didn't.
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha. Whiskey Lone Star departure radar contact. Cleared direct south. Climb and maintain flight level 230.
Direct south, climb and maintain 230, Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Climb power is set, landing gear is up, flaps are up, taxi and landing lights are off, windshield heating is set, ignitions is required, auto feather is off, prop sync on. Heating and cooling as desired, TCAS.
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, climb and maintain flight level 270.
Continue the climb to 270, November 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey.
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, climb and maintain flight level 310. Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, contact Fort Worth Center on 124.875.
Fort Worth Center, Piaggio, November 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, climbing through flight level 190 for 330.
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, climb and maintain flight level 360.
Piaggio.
Alright, past 18,000 feet, standard altimeter. I still haven't figured out how to get this to inches of mercury instead of hectopascals. If anybody knows how to do that, drop a comment below. Flight Services, November 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. We were wondering if you could give us a weather briefing for our route of flight.
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, winds at 215 at 6 knots. Mount Vernon altimeter is 29.68. Sky conditions are few clouds at 10,000 feet. Broken clouds at 14,000 feet, 22,000 feet, and 25,000 feet. Temperature is 22 degrees Celsius with a dew point of 4. Visibility is 10 miles. Advise if further details are needed.
Jonesboro Flight Service, November Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Can you give us winds aloft for flight level 370?
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, winds aloft at flight level 370 are 250 degrees at 45 knots.
Okay. We are getting a great tailwind, 118 knots. Quartering tailwind, so we're crabbed a little bit. But that is giving us a ground speed, still in the climb, at 407 knots. We're at 36,600, 400 feet to go to level off at flight level 370. And then we'll see what kind of ground speed we get in cruise. But this thing is hauling ass. Alright, we are leveling off at flight level 370. Ground speed's picking up. We're at 421 knots. Let's go ahead and do the cruise checklist. Cruise checklist. Cruise power is set. Passenger signs. We can turn off the seatbelt sign. Not that anybody's paying attention to that. Seatbelt sign is off. Propeller sync is on. Windshield heaters as required. Anti-ice as required. Ignition as required. Pressurization is over here. Our cabin altitude is just above 5,000 feet, which is good. Environmental controls, heating and cooling, that's good. Flight plans progressed. Top of descent, check and monitor.
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, Fort Worth Center. Contact Memphis Center on 128.475.
128.475 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Memphis Center, good evening. Piaggio November 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, flight level 370.
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, Memphis Center, good evening.
Alright, we are still in cruise here. The sun's going down. We've got some traffic out ahead of us here. They're about 1,200 feet below us, so shouldn't be a problem. And we've got some other traffic out there to the right that looks like they're above us, and man, they're moving fast. We've got about an hour and 5 minutes to go, 454 nautical miles. We're getting a ground speed of 422 knots. Got more of a crosswind now. The wind is...
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, contact Memphis Center on 133.125.
133.125, Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. 133.125. Memphis Center, good evening. Piaggio November 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, level 370.
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha, Whiskey Memphis Center, good evening.
Alright, so we are going to start descending here pretty shortly. We can see that the glide path marker is coming down. Once it hits the center, it should start the descent. There it goes. And we need to stay below 270 knots. Descent checklist. Descent speed set and monitor. Windshield heating is still on. Wing and engine anti-ice not required. Ignition as required. We'll go ahead and turn on the ignition just in case. Left and right are on. Okay. Heating as desired. Passenger signs on. Overall, I have to say I'm very impressed with this plane. Like, it flies as fast as a jet. The avionics take a little bit of getting used to. I would much prefer a GTN. I know I'm a broken record, but it's true. We're just about to Jenny. 270 to 19. And we're going to be right at 270 crossing it, so it's doing great. 211 knots.
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, descend and maintain 4,000. Turn right heading 175 vectors for the ILS runway 36 right approach.
Charlotte Tower, November Whiskey Alpha Whiskey is on the ILS for runway 36 right. Flaps down,
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha. Whiskey Charlotte Tower, roger. Continue approach for runway 36 right.
Roger.
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha. Whiskey Charlotte Tower, winds 220 at 6. Runway 36 right, cleared to land. Caution bird activity.
Clear to land, watching for birds. Whiskey Alpha Whiskey. Think that controller watches NASCAR? And we're on the ground. That was a little sloppy, but any landing you can walk away from is a good landing. Any landing you can use the airplane again is a great landing. Alright, condition levers coming back to ground idle. And which
Piaggio Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, contact ground on 121.8.
21.8 for Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, good day. Charlotte ground, November, Whiskey Alpha Whiskey, just off runway 36 right. Looking to taxi to the FBO.
Piaggio 0 Whiskey Alpha Whiskey Charlotte ground, taxi to general aviation parking via Delta 9 or Delta, cross runway 23 at your discretion. Have a good day.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that flight. If you did, please remember to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. Share it with your friends, leave a comment below, let me know what you think. Until next time, I'll see you later.